What if I told you that the best way to enjoy a cold cocktail on a beach in Hawaii is to spend the previous 51 weeks answering emails at 11 p.m. under the soul-crushing glow of fluorescent office lights? Sounds insane, right? Like running a marathon through a desert just to be rewarded with a single cup of lukewarm water. And yet, somehow, this is the operating logic for an entire generation of us. Welcome to the great paradox of our time, the labor and self-reward paradox, otherwise known as how to turn your life into a corporate horror movie just to get a one-week trailer for a rom-com. Let's break down this logic. We were raised in a culture that worships being busy. Hustle culture isn't a choice anymore, it's a religion. And its self-proclaimed gurus on Instagram and TikTok are constantly preaching the gospel of waking up at 4 a.m., drinking a kale smoothie, and absolutely crushing your day. They sell us the dream of financial freedom and a Lamborghini, but what they're really selling are coffee mugs that say rise and grind and online courses that teach you how to optimize your 15-minute lunch break. Busy has become a status symbol. The standard answer to, "How are you?" is no longer, "I'm good." It's a proud, exhausted sigh followed by, "Oh, just completely swamped." Being busy means you're important, you're in demand, you're living. But are we really living, or are we just surviving from one deadline to the next? And so we jump on the hamster wheel, 60 hours a week, maybe 70. We miss family dinners, nights out with friends, and we forget what the sun looks like. We eat lunch at our desks, one hand typing on the keyboard, the other holding a sandwich we can't even taste. We call it dedication. We call it building a career. And corporations are brilliant at encouraging this madness. They call us family, a wonderful family that will send you work emails on a Sunday and might just fire you over a 5-minute Zoom call. They give us flashy perks like a game room with a foosball table that no one has time to use, or unlimited PTO, one of the greatest corporate scams of the century. It sounds generous, but what it really does is create an unspoken pressure to not take too much time off, lest you be seen as not a team player. And if you do dare to take a vacation, you'll spend 2 weeks working twice as hard beforehand and come back to a volcanic eruption of unread emails. After 51 weeks of living like a robot, fueled by coffee and anxiety, it finally arrives. The destination of all that sacrifice, the ultimate reward, a one-week vacation. But let's take a closer look at this so-called reward. It begins with 2 weeks of extreme stress before the vacation, as you cram 3 weeks of work into 2, just so your boss doesn't have a meltdown while you're gone. Then comes the anxiety of planning, finding an Airbnb that isn't secretly the home of a serial killer, hunting for plane tickets at 3 a.m. because a blog told you that's the cheapest time, and trying to coordinate with a group of friends who all have equally insane work schedules. The act of planning a relaxing vacation is, ironically, a full-time, high-stress job. And then you finally get there. Mexico, Italy, some beach in Florida. For the first 2 days, your brain is still in work mode. You flinch at every phone notification and instinctively check your email, just for a second. You spend most of your time trying to decompress, to forget about the spreadsheets and the pointless meetings. By day 3, you start to actually relax. You drink an $18 margarita and tell yourself, "I deserve this." You post a picture of the sunset on Instagram with the caption, #WorkHardPlayHard, to prove to the world, and mostly to yourself, that all the suffering was worth it. You're putting on a performance of relaxation. You have to have fun because you only have 7 days. The pressure to have the perfect vacation is sometimes more exhausting than just going to work. And then, just as fast as your boss rejects your request for a raise, the 7 days are over. You fly back, exhausted from the travel, sunburned, and broke. The post-vacation blues are real, and they're made 10 times worse when you open your laptop to see 734 unread emails. That fleeting sense of peace vanishes instantly. You're right back on the wheel, starting the 51-week countdown all over again. So what logical traps are we stuck in? First, there's the sunk cost fallacy. I've already invested so much time and energy into this career path, I can't quit now. We continue to endure misery because we've already endured it for so long. Second, we've taken the concept of delayed gratification to a pathological extreme. We delay our joy for so long that the joy itself becomes a source of pressure. We're living for a distant future that may never come, or when it does, it looks nothing like we imagined. And to cope with the daily grind, we fall into another trap, the self-care industry. They sell us scented candles, bath bombs, face masks, and meditation apps as the antidote to our burnout. But these are just band-aids on a bullet wound. You're not stressed because you lack a lavender-scented candle. You're stressed because your job demands you be online 24/7 and the work culture is draining the life out of you. The irony is that their solution is more consumption. You have to work harder to earn money to buy things to help you cope with working so hard. It's a perfect vicious cycle that prints money for corporations and leaves us feeling just as empty. We are trading the vast majority of our actual lives, the small daily moments, the quiet afternoons, the forgotten hobbies, for 1 week of a meticulously staged and expensive paradise. We are essentially buying back our own time at an exorbitant price. We work in a box so that we can go on vacation in a slightly nicer box. So maybe it's time we stopped and asked a different question. The question isn't, how can I work more efficiently to have a better vacation?